There is a moment when you sit in a room full of people who once meant your entire world, and you feel absolutely nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just a strange, heavy silence. Carl Jung called this a psychological death and rebirth and a disconnection from the people who once controlled your entire emotional universe. Today I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and why it might be the clearest sign of personal transformation you'll ever experience. Stay until the end because at minute 7, I'll share something. Carl Jung wrote that most people only understand once it has already happened to them, and by then, it's usually far too late to go back to who they used to be. In psychology, there's a term called individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming your true self, layer by layer, mask by mask. When this process begins, you change fast on the inside. Your thoughts shift. Your priorities shift. Your entire outlook on life quietly rearranges itself from the inside out. But the people around you often stay exactly where they were, standing in the same place they stood years ago. That gap is what creates the silent cracks in old relationships. It's rarely anyone's fault. It's simply two people moving at completely different speeds on completely different journeys. And sooner or later, that distance becomes impossible to ignore, no matter how much shared history sits between you. The first reason is what I call frequency mismatch. As you grow, your thoughts, your priorities, and even your conversations shift into something entirely new. People still living on the old frequency simply can't tune into it anymore, no matter how hard they try. It's like two radios playing on different channels. The words sound familiar, but the signal underneath has completely changed. You're technically speaking the same language, but the meaning behind every sentence has quietly transformed. And that invisible gap is exactly what starts to feel like distance, even when nothing dramatic has actually happened between you. The second reason runs deeper and it's far more painful. People who never changed themselves often fell in love with your old version, not the person you've since become. So when you evolve, they unconsciously try to pull you back into your old shape, because that version felt safe and familiar to them. This isn't always malicious. Sometimes it's fear wearing the disguise of love, a quiet, unspoken wish that you would just stay exactly who you used to be, so their own world could remain undisturbed, and they'd never have to face the discomfort of changing themselves too. The third reason is identity collision. Your new self quietly challenges the old unspoken rules of the relationship. If a friend always saw you as the fragile one, the quiet one, or the one who needed help, and you've now become strong and self-reliant, that shift creates real discomfort for them. Your growth, without saying a single word, becomes a mirror. Some people will celebrate what they see in that mirror. Others will quietly resent it, because it forces them to confront their own stagnation. And honestly, not everyone is ready or willing to face that reflection just yet. Think of someone we'll call Alex. For years, Alex belonged to the same tight friend group, spending every weekend together, sharing every detail of life. But when Alex started reading more, building new habits, and waking up early instead of staying out late, the group slowly began to drift away. There was no fight, no dramatic goodbye, just less and less conversation over time. At first, Alex felt deeply hurt, even blamed themselves for it. But later, Alex understood something powerful. This wasn't loss at all. This was growth quietly doing its work, clearing space for something better to eventually arrive. Carl Jung once wrote that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, but that journey demands solitude, whether we're ready for it or not. As you start facing your shadow, the hidden, unspoken parts of yourself, your fears and your buried wounds, your old persona, the mask you wore just to be accepted, slowly begins to fall away, and the people who were only ever connected to that mask naturally fall away along with it. This is the most surprising truth of all. Losing people isn't always loss. Sometimes it's simply proof that the mask is finally quietly coming off. Signs you've outgrown someone. So how do you actually know you've outgrown someone? First sign, their words no longer affect you the way they used to. Second sign, you start hiding your wins around them, just to avoid an awkward silence in the room. Third sign, you feel drained after seeing them, not energized or excited. Fourth sign, you don't miss them intensely and you just feel a quiet, gentle sadness when you think about what used to be. None of these signs mean you've become cold or heartless. They simply mean you've quietly stepped into an entirely new chapter of your life. The way through this isn't forcing anything, it's acceptance. Don't try to drag someone into your new chapter if they're not ready or willing to walk there beside you. Let silence do its own quiet work instead of fighting against it. Give yourself full permission to feel the sadness without carrying guilt for it, because sadness here isn't weakness. It's simply proof that you're human. Remember, you didn't betray anyone. You didn't abandon anyone either. You simply kept walking forward. And growth, by its very nature, never waits patiently for permission from the people who got left behind along the way. If you've ever felt like you outgrew someone, understand this clearly. It isn't a weakness. It's one of the clearest, most honest signs that you're finally becoming who you were always meant to be. Every empty space you feel today is quietly making room for relationships that will finally match who you truly are now. Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever felt this way about someone in your own life? If this video resonated with you, subscribe, because next time we're talking about how to build new relationships that actually grow alongside you. Take care of yourself.